Let's do a little Carlton witch ramble about the game against the Lions tonight. What is there to say? Well, firstly, I want to say that I think it's a really good opportunity for us to be able to see how this team actually feels about the relationship they have with Vossi. Because, as we've noted many times in the past, what happens to the Carlton Football Club throughout the week, what happens within the inside doors, what happens within the playing group, that has a huge effect on the game. So because some fucker has come out and threatened Vossi, which hilarious, like we do realise this is like Vossi, the football player, Vossi who tackles people in the streets and does like citizen's arrest, and yet you're threatening him. Do you think he's scared of you? Come on. Anyway, hilarious. But however, I do think that this is the sort of team that is very emotionally affected by what goes on in the non-game part of the Carlton Football Club. And so if, like they've been saying us, they fully support him, if, like they've been saying, they are playing for him and they want to do the best that they can and they trust him, then I expect them to come out fucking battling, because it's kind of getting to the sticky end of whether or not Voss gets to keep his fucking job. And if they say, you know, that they support him, that they love him, that they respect him, let's go. Fucking fight shoes on, boys. So that's going to be interesting. The energy for today is very fucking interesting, okay? So the moon is in Capricorn, which pretty great, actually, for the Carlton Football Club, because the moon in Capricorn can be a little bit cold, right? Because it does get you to turn your feelings off and concentrate on getting the work done. Now, right now, I'm filming this, 5:15, there is an aspect right now that is bringing an energy of discipline to places that you've previously been made to feel guilt and shame about. And it is really asking you to look at how, if you stop thinking about how other people might perceive you, if you stop thinking about how people might judge you, might make you feel shameful, if you stop thinking about those things from an external perspective and you truly ask yourself, do I need to feel shame about being who I am because I feel like I am being 100% me? And if you are being 100% you, then you really have no reason to feel shame. And anyone who wants to put that onto you is almost like an energy that you can turn into power. And I feel like over the last few weeks, these boys have had a lot of guilt and shame put on them, and they do have a lot of fuel that they could turn into discipline and power. So let's hope so, because the rest of the energy up until we play, one is kind of a little bit of curiosity when it comes to relationship dynamics and self-worth. And it's kind of asking you, like, you have been putting too much energy into something because of where you deal with your guilt and shame. Stop putting that energy there, right? And then there is a conversational energy, like a give and take of communication kind of energy that's also asking for a compromise from egotistical and or perfection seeking communication, right? It's kind of asking you to cut the shit in a really blunt kind of way, right? Cut the fucking shit. Stop acting that way. And then at 8:10 p.m, so just after the game starts, there's a really nice energy about being able to put the work in, right? So moon in Capricorn, Mars in Virgo. So the masculine energy right now needs to focus on details, needs to focus on habits, and needs to focus on doing the things, the basics right? Do the basics right. Do what you know right and grind it out one step at a time. So the energy is really supportive for where the Carlton Football Club kind of are in their journey, right? And, you know, part of this energy, if you haven't watched my Dear Carlton video on YouTube, go do it. I want to know what you think of it. But part of where they are at in their story is the next few days are a very big awakening of truly understanding the maturity, right? So as individuals, there's a full moon tomorrow at 6:30 a.m. that is asking us to really look at how mature we are when it comes to our emotional natures. And I think this is a team that really needs to look at that. So we kind of start rolling into that energy now as we get closer to the full moon. And so for the Carlton Football Club, this is an opportunity for them to prove to themselves that they can be emotionally mature, that they can use these kind of guilt, shame, or even like vengeance for fucking Vossi, that kind of energy, like we're going to fucking prove it to you. They can actually use that in a positive to like come out and find some kind of soul to bring to the game, regardless of what's going on. So that's quite a positive. But the next few days for the Carlton team, for the Carlton Football Club as a whole, it's quite revealing. It's quite revealing. Like, tomorrow is going to be a very interesting day when it comes to that, like what can possibly be revealed. And we get to this energy on the 12th, so in a couple of days after the weekend, and it's quite a chaotic shift of really needing to understand individuality. So I think there'll be a few things coming up over the weekend regardless of how they play, but they really have an opportunity to tap the fuck in to like grind it out kind of energy. So let's have a look at the players and see what's going on. And I'd also like to mention, as I did in my YouTube video, that, you know, we dropped Blake Acres, right? We dropped Blake Acres, but we got Blake Acres as part of like a contract that got us to the finals of 2023. So as far as I'm concerned, he's done his part, unfortunately. And he is like, he could move on now if he wanted to. So when we look at the players who this moon should be a positive for, although I say that, but if they haven't been doing a lot of their inner work, their emotional work, it could be quite distracting, right? Because we could have players realizing that this isn't what they want to do, that the version of them that they thought they were when they were playing isn't actually correct, right? It's like seeing truth, like seeing reality, and having to revise like your idea of success and your idea of like where you want to put your energy, right? So players that this moon should be good for are Charlie Curnow, right? Like his communication within relationships is really being affected by this moon, okay? And George Hewitt, Ollie Hollins. So they are both Capricorns, and this is a Capricorn full moon. So they do get a bit of extra energy to use for confidence. George and Ollie both have the same communication part of their chart lit up as Charlie, right? So Charlie, George, Ollie all have this full moon really supporting sort of intuitive communication, but also like putting work into communication, right? And then when you look at the masculine energy and how this moon is helping people with it, George Hewitt as well, masculine energy. So his drive, his fire is really being lit up by the moon. And then Cooper Lord, Jacob Wiedering, both being very fucking lit up as well. So that should be helpful because, yep, we should be fighting if we want to support Vossi. We should be helping him keep his fucking job, should we not? Energetically, we have just started another 84-year cycle, right? This is an 8-year cycle, but in overall, 84 years, right? So some of the people that is going to be heavily affecting are people like Corey Durden, right? So that is the energy of really having to build a rule structure toward your goals. Okay, so he's building new things across the fucking board, right? Like he is having his luck energy lit up. He is building something completely new with his ego self, and his whole entire rule structure and where he is going right now is kind of under a huge pressure for change. So it really depends on how he wants to move going forward into his future to whether or not he taps in and becomes fire because of that, right? Now, the masculine energy of Adam Sard also under this kind of chaotic pressure of change. And we've got Who else? There's one other person who I think. Francis Evans. I mean, Elijah, we fucking need Elijah back. I can't even with how just incredible he would be right now. Brody Kemp as well. Okay, so yeah, look, I'm gonna look at the Brisbane team. Hold on. Okay, Brisbane team. All right, who have they got that's Capricorn with this moon, and are they playing? Josh Dunkley, yes, he is playing, god damn it. And Darcy Wilmot, is he playing? No, fantastic. Great. So they've only got one Capricorn. Okay, that's good. What about here? Oh no, Cam Rayner. Cam Rayner's masculine energy is quite literally being lit up by the moon. Kai Lohman as well. He's been pointed towards his future. Great. Who else? Okay, I don't know that one. All right. Look, honestly, the energy that's around today, it really is supporting hard work and moving forward with hard work. So like we're really going to have to dig in so that we don't look like children, to be honest, because some of their players, like I can't even with Lachie Neale and the energy that he is going to have. Like the positive of it is that Lachie Neale is quite literally being charged up with chaos. So he got a smart mouth, right? And that smart mouth is being lit up by chaos. So the bonus here is that the ego that will come through with the way that he is able to talk shit, if the Carlton team are in the fuck you vibe, which I really want them to be in, then he will only fuel that fire. But I can absolutely see him having to like fake an injury or some fucking bullshit because someone wants to punch him in the face. Okay, so we do really need to, like, Kai Lohman just being pointed towards his future is a huge fucking problem, okay? Dane Zorko, we need to take care of him because he is going to be fucking harsh, is probably the best way to put it. Like, he is going to be harsh. His discipline house is being lit up by this fucking moon. And not many players are having that, right, because of his age. So there's not a lot of players around that are having that aspect right now, which is quite literally the discipline of chaos. And his whole entire energy system is like quite literally lit the fuck up for power. So he's going to be a huge fucking problem. Him and Lachie Neale are going to be huge problems. So, look, I'm not expecting a win, all right? I don't think any of us are. But this is a really great opportunity for them to put their fucking effort where their mouths keep chatting. And if you're going to come out and tell me that we're all in this together, if you're going to come out and tell me that you love and respect and want to work hard for Vossi, fucking show me, because this is the energy to do that, right? Drop any guilt or shame for anything that's happened in the past. Be present in the now and show us. Show us that you still want to fight. Right? Even if you don't like what's going on internally, even if you're not being listened to, even if you're not being respected yourself, lock in, okay? Lock in. Go Blues.